I've got to be honest, I'm not that bothered about the environment. Greta Thunberg says it's got another 40 years left. That'll do me. I don't believe the Green lobby anyway. I've never understood why people pay attention to the Green Party, Extinction Rebellion, Just Stop Oil, and all the other green activists. Their ideas are straight out of a cannabis-infused sixth form common room, along with communism and socks with sandals. They want to change the weather by stopping us from travelling, eating meat, or having any fun whatsoever. They want to increase taxes and hand massive power to governments, and they're constantly warning us that the world is about to end. But the deadline keeps passing, and the world is miraculously still here. And environmentalists think that they're above the law. This week, Just Stop Oil were filmed smashing up a petrol station. Look at the state of these pricks. She obviously knits her own yogurt. I wonder how much she spends on cat food. They've got the safety goggles and the high-vis jackets just in case anyone has trouble seeing them. These goggles and high-vis jackets are made from plastic and synthetic fibres, by the way, which are made from oil, because it's fine for them to use oil products for some reason while they stop us from using them. This is clearly the first time any of them have held a tool or done any manual labour. Jesus Christ, look at the state of this one. I can hear him saying, communism just hasn't been tried properly yet. He's so hairy we could use him as loft insulation. I'm old enough to remember when white hooligans smashing up an ethnic minority business would be considered a crime. But while the police are busy dancing the Macarena at pride parades and arresting people for tweets, climate hooligans feel free to break the law with impunity. We have a two-tier policing system in this country where people with woke opinions are seemingly above the law, while the rest of us can't even fart without having our doors kicked in by the offence police. Even worse, instead of locking these idiots up, our supposedly conservative government listens to them and says, "Good idea. We stop drilling for oil and gas in this country. Development of the massive Cambo field in the North Sea was shelved. Fracking, which is proven to be a safe and clean source of gas, was banned in the UK. Instead of drilling for fuel in Britain to provide energy security, our government, like all governments in Western Europe, decided that we could move to powering our society with windmills and solar panels and good intentions. And while we waited for the capabilities of green energy to catch up with our dreams, we could depend on fuel from Russia. From an environmental point of view, this is idiotic. Russia is a dictatorship, so has terrible environmental regulations and oversight, and transporting oil increases the risk of devastating spills. People worry about food miles, the carbon footprint of food brought across the sea from other countries, but what about the carbon footprint of shipping oil from Russia instead of getting it out of our own backyard? If a tanker of avocados capsizes, you don't get environmentally devastating avocado slicks along the coastline and seals dying from avocados stuck in their fur. Why do environmentalists warn us about food miles, but they're totally fine with oil miles? And with the Western world utterly dependent on him for energy, Putin has us over a barrel of crude oil. Invading Ukraine sent gas prices sky high, and because we have no other option, Western Europe has been forced to pay these skyrocketing prices. Germany paid Russia over 50 billion euros for gas so far in the war, which is paying for Putin's mercenaries to rape and pillage in Ukraine. It makes me wonder if Germany will ever be on the right side in a war. Somebody warned us of Western Europe's dependency on Russian energy, by the way. It was Donald Trump, and German politicians laughed at him.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
But here we are in 2022 with Putin invading Europe and using Europe's dependency on his gas to pay for it. Which makes me wonder, are British environmental activists funded by the Kremlin? Leader of the Scottish Green Party, Patrick Harvey, who are in a ruling coalition with the Scottish Nationalist Party, has said that anyone who wants to drill for oil in the North Sea is a far-right extremist. Green lobbyists are actively working to weaken the United Kingdom and helping Putin win the war in Ukraine. This winter, things will get harsh. People could die. Other people will want to die, but won't be able to afford enough gas to put their head in the oven and do it. and all because green idiots hypnotised their complacent governments into pursuing this net zero nonsense. Anyone who supports net zero should do the decent thing this winter and refuse to use any of the scarce energy that vulnerable people need to heat their homes. In fact, if Just Stop Oil are so worried about carbon footprints, they can reduce their own to zero by walking out into the sea. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with any hairy, jobless environmentalists you know. And if you want to support me making these videos, please consider becoming a Patreon. From as little as £3 a month, you get early access to these videos, you get a Patreon-only podcast, there's other stuff probably. Anyway, thanks for listening. I've been Leo Kears. Goodbye. Bye-bye.